Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining today. We have a special day. It's the appearance, I believe, let me just check that, of disappearance day of Shyamananda, very important devotee. Yesterday actually was also the disappearance days of Mukunda Dutt and Sridhar Pandit, and we'll talk about them tomorrow. But today I was thinking, because it's his actual disappearance day, we'll talk about Shyamananda. Very powerful devotee of the Lord. He was a great yes, good. Yes, good. Thank you. Hang on a sec. Just 1 second. So he was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya, contemporary of the great acharyas Srinivasacharya and Narottam Das Thakur. So they were great friends. The three were eternal associates of Lord Chaitanya, incarnated to spread his teachings after the Lord's disappearance. They studied under Srila Jiva Goswami in Vrindavan. They created a resurgence of Lord Chaitanya's Bhakti movement in Bengal and Orissa, where it was flagging in the period after the Lord had left the planet. Shyamananda, Prabhu, who appeared in West Bengal in 1534 in the house of Sri Krishna Mandal and Srimati Durika Devi, was named Dukhi, as his parents, who had lost many sons and daughters before him, wanted to ward off all inauspiciousness by giving their son such a name. It was predicted that he was a great soul, come to preach the glories of Lord Jagannath. Being highly intelligent, Dukhi soon mastered all the scriptures and the science of grammar. But when he heard the transcendental pastimes of Gaur Nitai from the Vaishnavas in his village, he developed a strong attachment to their lotus feet. So this is Dukhi Krishna. Taking his father's blessings, Dukhi Krishna Das went to Ambika Kalna, where he took shelter of Sri Hridaya Chaitanya. So that is his spiritual master, who was a disciple of Gauri Das Pandit. Gauri Das Pandit was associate of Lord Chaitanya directly. After being initiated, he was named Dukhi Krishnadas. So firstly, he was called Dukhi, then he became known as Dukhi Krishnadas. Seeing his great intelligence and devotion, he was instructed to go to Sri Vrindavan Dham to study under the guidance of Srila Jiva Goswami. Shyamananda set out for Vrindavan, but first visited Mayapur to meet Ishan, the servant of Jagannath Mishra. He also visited Gaya to have darshan of Sri Vishnu, went to Kashi to take the blessings of Chandrasekhar, Tapan Mishra, and others. Then he went to Vrindavan. He was in Vrindavan under the care of Jiva Goswami, and he met Srinivasacharya and Narottam Das Thakur. And the three of them together, they all performed devotional service in each other's company under the tutelage of Jiva Goswami. Upon receiving the special service of sweeping Sevakunj from Jiva Goswami, Dukhi Krishna Das would every day sweep the groves of Sevakunj, where the divine couple came and performed pastimes every night, even to this present day. So Sevakunj is one of those places where at night nobody enters, because Radha and Krishna are doing their lila. So he would be serving there, sweeping. It wasn't for a few days or a few months, it was for many years. He continued that seva, very humble seva. One day, he came upon a very special and transcendental ankle bell the beauty of which astonished him, and he safely kept it with him, hoping to have audience with the owner of the divine ornament. Soon, a young maiden, this was actually Lalita Devi, whose beauty was beyond the material creation, came to him and asked if he had found an ankle bell while sweeping. So a very special Leela is going to take place. This is the ankle bell, transcendental, of course. And Shyamananda, sweeping Seva Kunj, got the reward for doing that seva for such a long time and in such a humble way. So Dukhi Krishna replied that he had indeed found a very special ankle bell. Lalita asked him for it, saying that it belonged to her dear Sakhi. But Dukhi Krishna refused to give it to anyone other than the owner herself. So he's really clever. He knew this is something very special. Hearing this, Lalita went back to Radharani. The ankle bell actually belonged to Srimati Radharani. And being pleased with Dukhi Krishna, she personally came and gave him darshan of her lotus feet. She placed the ankle bell on her forehead, the touch of which marked his forehead with a special tilak marking. And Radharani also gave him the name Shyamananda. She changed his name from Dukhi Krishna to Shyamananda. Shyam means Krishna, blackish. Anand means happy. So she changed his name, turned it the other way around. There he is, getting the ankle bells tilak mark. So they have a very special tilak, which is looking like this, a little different from ours. Being thus blessed, Dukhi Krishna was overjoyed. Of course, now he's known as Shyamananda. But when he went back, all the Vaishnavas started questioning him as to why he had changed his tilak. This was very unusual. And of course, he didn't want to reveal anything because this is such a confidential thing that happened to him. He didn't want to let anybody know. But when his Shiksha Guru, Jiva Goswami, asked him, he had no choice. So he related the whole story to Jiva Goswami, which gave immense pleasure to the heart of Srila Jiva Goswami. So here Chaitanya, he was in Bengal. He got the news that your disciple is now wearing a different tilak, and also his name is changed. So he became angry. He came to Vrindavan, and when he saw Shyamananda, he chastised him. What are you doing? What the heck's going on? But then Radharani appeared in a dream to Hridaya Chaitanya. And Shyamananda didn't say anything. He didn't defend himself. He's such a humble soul. But in a dream, Radharani revealed to Hridaya Chaitanya the whole pastime, explaining her mercy bestowed upon Shyamananda. So Hridayananda realized that, Hridaya Chaitanya realized that this was a special thing that happened to his disciple, and he went and hugged him. Soon thereafter, on the order of Srila Jiva Goswami, Shyamananda, along with Narottam and Srinivas, set off to Bengal and Orissa with a trunk full of Goswami's literatures to preach the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the first Sankirtan party. On the way, so we know this pastime, a few times we've gone through it when we looked at the pastimes of Narottam Das Thakur and Srinivasacharya. On the way, the king of Vishnupura, his name was King Birhambir, had the scriptures stolen by some of his men, some gundas. For the purpose of recovering the scriptures, Srinivas stayed behind. Shyamananda, he went to Ambika Kalna. Hridaya Chaitanya accepted the service of his disciple for some time. And then he ordered Shyamananda to go to Orissa and revive the Sankirtan movement again. So this is after the time of Chaitanya and Nityananda, everybody left. Janava Devi was there, present still. But because of the lack of presence of the lordships, the preaching movement had subsided somewhat. So in order to revive it, these three devotees were sent. While preaching, he initiated the boy Rasika, who became a great devotee of the Lord, well known as Rasikananda. So him and Ramananda Kaviraj, they're all contemporaries. And Shyamananda inspired many people of all classes to take up the path of Krishna Bhakti. Shyamananda thereafter traveled widely, spreading the holy names of the Lord and also attending the grand festival at Keturi, where he again met Srinivas and Narottam. So in Keturi was the first Gaur Purnima festival. And in that festival, Janava Devi was there, the consort of Nityananda. And in that festival, they installed many sets of deities, Gaurnitai. And they actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself and Nityananda came, even though they had left the world, they came and they enjoyed in that festival. He initiated many disciples who continued his preaching. Some call it the Shyamanandi sect, after his disappearance in Kanpur in Orissa, where his samadhi is located. So that's the end of the life and times of Shyamananda, very special devotee of the Lord. He had the darshan of Srimati Radharani. So what better result can one get from their bhakti? Any questions, any comments? Okay, Shyamananda Prabhu ki jai.